everyone, and welcome to another CRM Snacktime Snippet. I'm Alex Killian, the video producer on XTIVIA's marketing team, and today we are joined again by our Senior Business Development Manager, Mike Ahrenhoersterbaeumer. Mike, thank you so much for being with us again.
Thanks for having me, Alex. Pleasure to be here.
So continuing our CRM topics, today our question for Mike is Salesforce versus Microsoft Dynamics, and which is right for your company? So
Great.
Mike, what do you got for us on this topic?
It's a hot button topic. First off, I find myself having this conversation quite often with both customers and prospects. We obviously at XTIVIA, we work with both. We have worked with both for many years now. And they are both extremely good, powerful, flexible platforms as a CRM solution and more, right? So in all honesty, you can't make a wrong answer or a wrong pick, I should say. They're both very good, like I just said. But there's some things to kind of think about as an organization and where you're trying to go, what you're trying to accomplish in order to help make the right decision. So first off, price is always a big component when it comes to choosing a new software, choosing a new CRM solution. And if you're just doing some, recursory research on Google, right, looking things up, you can see, because this information is publicly available, that Salesforce is going to look a lot more expensive. Their list price for their enterprise solutions, $150 per user per month, whereas Microsoft is $95 per user per month. So you see that, and it's 33% roughly more expensive from just a licensing perspective. But the one thing to kind of note, and this is just something you learn as being a partner of Salesforce for many, many years, is one of the differentiators between Microsoft and Salesforce is how discounts work. Microsoft usually kind of sticks to what that pricing is. Salesforce can be very friendly when it comes to discounts. So like if you're looking at both, Salesforce is aware that, hey, you guys are looking at Microsoft, what did they quote you at? Salesforce may come down and try to match that, or at least get close, right? So I actually, when I'm talking to my customers, explain to them that pricing may not be a big win on either side. When we look at implementing Salesforce or Microsoft, truthfully, the cost may fluctuate between like 10, 20% difference. And it could be one way or the other, because that is something about these systems is, the technology is different. How you customize the system is different. How you configure it is different. Integrations work differently. So just depending on what your use cases are, one may be slightly more expensive than the other from an implementation side. But truthfully, that cost isn't going to be a big differentiator one way or the other. Where some of those things come into play, the differentiators, and keep in mind, truthfully, these two products do 80 to 90% of the same things, right? Obviously, they look different. They feel different. How you manage the systems is completely different. When your end users are in there, the system is going to look and feel completely different. One way I think Salesforce does win is their interface. And this is opinion, right? This isn't a fact, but truthfully, in my opinion, and probably our team's opinion, Salesforce's interface is, I think, a little bit easier to learn. It's more intuitive. It's got some more pop in circumstance, or pomp in circumstance, if you will. There's more colors. The dashboards and reports are a little bit more interactive than Microsoft is. So I do think Salesforce wins on that front. Easier to kind of learn. A lot of times when you're putting in a CRM, especially if it's like a sales type CRM, some of your team members may have used Salesforce in the past. So again, that just kind of makes it easier to onboard because they're used to it. They've used it before, right? I do think that's an area that Salesforce wins. Customizability, integrations, configuration. I can't really say that one is much more powerful than the other. They're both extremely powerful, extremely flexible solutions, right? Again, both good tools. You can't make a wrong decision. One thing I always tell my customers and potential customers is to think about what you do as an organization and where you're trying to go as an organization, especially from a technology perspective. I look at it as, if price is not a big barrier, I do like Salesforce just because of what I stated before with the interface itself. They also have their App Exchange, which has like 3,000 plus applications that you can, some are free, some have cost, but a lot of them are plug and play. So it's easy to extend that platform. That's another area where Salesforce wins. However, if your organization is a Microsoft shop already, and you're trying to get more and more into the Microsoft shop, and I don't just mean Outlook, because Salesforce hooks up to that really well, right, and really easily. But what I'm talking about is Microsoft Teams, Microsoft SharePoint. Maybe you're using Microsoft Business Central or F&O from an ERP and accounting perspective. Azure, the Power Platform. When you're already using those things, Microsoft is a very, very good fit because it is more of a, and Salesforce, don't get me wrong, Salesforce can tie into all of those solutions too. It's just that it may take a little bit more legwork up front to properly connect those, or you may need to pay for a third-party application to connect those. Microsoft, it's more about just configuring it to make sure they're all talking. So it's a lot more plug and play. And from an administration side, a lot of the things that you need to do can be managed in the Microsoft Admin Center. So if you're already on 365 from a Business Central perspective, you're using Power BI, SharePoint, your administrator already really kind of has one-stop shop to go to do a lot of the things that they would need to do to maintain the system. So in my opinion, I'm probably not too helpful because you cannot make a wrong decision. But again, to me, one of the biggest differentiators, Salesforce does have a great interface. It's flexible. It's easy to learn. It's very dynamic and a lot of flash, right? It's not saying Microsoft is hard to utilize, hard to get used to. Takes some training. You get comfortable with it. You're off and running. But if you are a company that's heavily invested already in the Microsoft stack and heavily continuing to go that route, then Microsoft can be a very good solution for you. Either way, these are conversations that we have with customers and prospects all the time. We know the pitfalls. We know what to look out for. So it's certainly something that we'd be happy to have a discussion with you today and help you figure out and understand which solution might be the best for you and for your organization moving forward. So either way, you can't go wrong. But that's what I got about Salesforce versus Microsoft. Both good solutions, and we'd be happy to help you select them and then obviously implement it. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you so much, Mike. As Mike mentioned, please don't hesitate to reach out if you have further questions or just want to talk CRM. And please come back next week for another CRM Snacktime Snippet. Thanks so much. Thank you so much, Mike. As Mike mentioned, please don't hesitate to reach out if you have further questions or just want to talk CRM. And please come back next week for another CRM Snacktime Snippet. Thanks so much.
Thank you.